The Critics' Choice Awards happened recently, and I know what you're thinking. Why do we care what critics think, and why do we care about award shows? I'm right there with you, and I agree. But the reaction on social media so far has been hilarious because Ryan Gosling received an award for Best Original Song for I'm Just Ken in the Barbie movie, which actually was the best part of the Barbie movie, which was not an amazing experience to watch in theaters. He was the standout performance from Barbie, which is ironic, given that this is an expressly feminist film that is meant to empower women. Ken was the star of it, unintentionally. And his reaction to getting this award was interesting. He looked very dissatisfied when he heard the announcement. He looked confused. And like he wanted a woman to receive the award. And that has been the overwhelming reaction to this, is it's wrong for a man to receive an award for anything that he did in the Barbie movie, because that's not feminist.
But also, it wouldn't necessarily be the singer who goes to accept the award. It would be the writer of the song.
Yeah, the writer of the song was the one who went up to accept the award.
Didn't go up to get the award.
But Ryan Gosling's performance of the song is what got it there, right? Like, he had the best part of the Barbie movie.
Let's watch this
and
clip.
I think he did deserve recognition for that.
Let's watch this clip because the picture of him, the image was going viral yesterday.
Yeah, here's his reaction. He looks very unhappy.
He does. He's
giving the camera the side eye.
He's like,
Billie Eilish was passed up for this. He's just like, I hate this song. Yes. Why do you people like this song so much?
And
Billie Eilish actually got Best Song at the Golden Globes. So what? We're just supposed to give her the same award all over again?
Yes.
And they also panned to Greta Gerwig in the broadcast, and she didn't look happy about it either. And here were some of the insane tweets. One said, the fact that a movie about girlhood and feminism has been consistently overshadowed by a male protagonist is very on the nose. Another one said, it's so wild because I feel like the main theme in Barbie was men doing the bare minimum and getting celebrated for it, and it literally created a real world example.
He did not do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
He carried the movie on his back.
Literally, he carried Barbie, yes. And that performance was the best part of Barbie. I don't know. I think that Ryan Gosling was probably reacting that way because he wanted people to think that he's a good male feminist. Mm-hmm. He didn't, or he just genuinely disliked I'm Just Ken and doesn't understand why it deserves an award. But another one had a more positive reaction. Movie made by women for women. Man wins the award. We can't stop winning, bros. Common male W.
It's not easy being this good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the feminists really don't want to admit to themselves that they love Ken and that they love this song.
I think that's what most people... I still believe there's revisionist history going around on Barbie. A lot of people are pretending like they liked it when maybe they didn't actually like it initially. I feel like people are looking for something deeper that's not there. But one thing that doesn't need to be searched for is that he was the best part of the movie.
Right.
By far.
Yeah. The worst part of the movie, though, was America Ferrera's speech about how hard it is to be a woman. And I'm going to read some of that monologue for you, Wesley, because you didn't get the privilege and honor of getting to see Barbie yourself. You're probably smart for that. So here it is. You have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's crass. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time. You have to be a career woman, but also always be looking out for other people. You have to answer for men's behavior, which is insane, but if you point that out, you're accused of complaining. And the speech goes on and on. It's just the worst part of the Barbie movie that totally ruined what was supposed to be a lighthearted comedy. And this was the character Gloria. She is the human supporting character in the movie who is playing with stereotypical Barbie, and her feelings of depression sort of transfer over to her doll, and that's what breaks her illusion and leads her into the human world. So that was the worst part of the Barbie movie. The best part was I'm Just Ken.
Yep.
And I don't know why the feminists are so mad, because America Ferrera got an award for this speech. It's called the See Her Award. And Margot Robbie gave her an introduction, and the whole room was just clapping like seals. Everyone loved it. And she was celebrated for speaking for women. And when I watched that speech, I didn't feel like I was being spoken for at all. It was just delivering the most boilerplate feminist talking points to probably who they hope to be young girls that they can indoctrinate.
High level of narcissism for celebrities who feel like it's their job to speak for other people just because they look the same. Like, there's so much that separates us from one another that what you look like is very rarely the biggest contributing factor to whether you see eye to eye with another person. You could sit across from someone here, and we all come from fairly different backgrounds, and that's normal. That's good. It's good to have to find middle ground that isn't connected to just how you look. So whenever they take these awards and they're like, I saw last night that what was it? Niecy Nash also said, or somebody else said, like they accept this award on behalf of all Black and brown people, and I'm just like, I don't get. Maybe it's because I'm not that I don't understand that logic.
No, it's because you aren't happy to be tokenized.
And I don't
and patronized.
I don't
that.
have any such affinity or connection or identity based around what I look like or anything like that. And I abhor the idea of like group structure in general, and especially when it comes to your identity, not just your like what you look like, but also even your political affiliations or how you socialize. I just never enjoyed that. So I guess I just can't relate. So I understand that there are people that do, probably not people in this room, but I guess they are speaking to some people, because if you look at the responses below most of this, the people seem to be
social media is not a good reflection of what the general population
thinks. So do you want to watch part of this?
Yeah, so I just wanted to show her acceptance speech for this See Her Award.
But we'll watch some of it here.
When it counts the most. When Greta Gerwig needed someone to talk about the true experience of what it's like to be a woman, there was one voice in her head. America gave our film a rallying cry filled with candor, vulnerability, and inspiration. She was speaking for every woman, everywhere, in a way that only America could. Every time I have been in a cinema when Barbie has played, the audience has erupted into applause after Gloria's monologue. Seriously. There are undoubtedly kids all over the world right now reciting that monologue in drama classes. And since opening weekend, the internet has been flooded with hundreds of thousands of social posts quoting her. Those words and her performance have had that much of an impact on the world. She is an artist and an activist. She tells us the truth and asks us to reach for something more in the world and in ourselves.
Before we continue, I just want to remind everyone that it is not enough to just not be an activist. It is your job to be actively anti-activist.
Yes.
He deserves to be celebrated, so please welcome the amazing America Ferrera.
There's just this palpable level of I bet you the level of rotator cuff surgery for celebrities that pat themselves on the back is just very high.
The insane feminist screeches. Here's where it gets good.
They should cut away to his reaction to the award during this.
Right, he looks equally confused.
I'm just waiting for the teleprompter to show my speech. There it is. Thank you so much to the Critics' Choice Association. Truly, your voices shape how people think about and value the stories we tell. I'm deeply thankful to you for
People's
this
Joker is less cringe.
Receiving
We can play People's Joker.
We haven't gotten the official request yet.
If you would like to request People's Joker.
If you want to make Wesley sit through it, somebody will have to request that officially, but you understand the rules.
her award
Don't know what that is.
for my contributions to more authentic portrayals of women and girls. couldn't be more meaningful to me because I grew up as a first-generation Honduran American girl in love with TV,
Look at
film, and theater.
how fake they are.
Wanted to be a part
It's
of a
nauseating.
storytelling legacy
There's a camera
that I
on me.
could not see myself.
Ugh, there's a camera on me. I have to look emotional.
Of course, I could feel myself in characters who were strong and complex, but these characters rarely, if ever, looked like me.
I wanted them to be brown like me.
Yearned to see people like myself on screen as full humans. When I
What does
started,
that mean?
It just means that
I'm actually asking that question. What does that mean?
means that she's brown and she wants to see brown people on screen. That's
But,
literally what it means.
You're never a full human when you're a character in a movie. You're the interpretation created by someone's writing. So that just
started working over 20 years ago, that seems impossible, I know, but it seemed impossible that anyone could make a career portraying fully dimensional Latina characters.
Latina characters,
But
of course.
because of writers, directors, producers, and executives who were daring enough to rewrite outdated stories and to
tell new stories. Continue.
challenge deeply entrenched biases. I
Look at the girl who played her daughter looks so bored.
Colleagues
Oh, is it stopping
Mom,
working?
stop.
Yes.
Oh no, it's
extremely
actually
blessed
in the
to
recording.
bring to life some fierce and fantastic women. Skip this part, I cut that. Thank you. Okay, stop. I'm gonna take it back. That I and some of my beloved Latina sisters have had the chance, because of that, we have had the chance to bring through some deeply layered Latina characters and characters
Why do you have to
that
say
I
it like
could
that?
not have
Intermittent
seen
accent.
This is
growing
like
up,
Pedro
but
Pascal when
now
he's like, "My name is
can
Pedro."
see her. And I
I
see
give a break on that. It's his name. A little bit of a break.
Still though. Do you guys want it to stop?
I want it to stop. Make it stop.
and in Jenna Ortega, and in Selena Gomez, and in so many more out there. To me, this is the best and highest use of storytelling, to affirm one another's full humanity, to uphold the truth that we are all worthy of being seen. Black, brown, indigenous, Asian, trans, disabled, any body type, any gender, we are all worthy of having our lives richly and authentically reflected.
I'm done.
Your life is boring and it shouldn't be reflected on screen.
I would say
Most people's lives and stories are completely boring and uninteresting, and they should not be reflected in our entertainment. Ever.
Also, you're part of a for-profit industry, at least a supposedly for-profit industry. None of those things actually matter when millions of dollars are being spent, and the goal supposedly is to make a return on investment. If you want to talk about doing this in the guise of self-created art, I would say that that's fine. I would even encourage you to do that.
What would David Zaslav say?
Like if you want to self-finance and do this on your own terms, I would say yes. Then those are, I guess, worthy goals if you deem them so. But if the idea here is that Warner Brothers, Disney, all these companies are supposed to foot the bill for stuff that continuously loses money, and every story we cover over the last
To be fair, that wasn't Barbie though.
but that's, everyone knows that is the exception and not the rule.
Yeah.
That is the exception and not the rule. Mean Girls made $33 million on the backs of a property that is a cult classic because it doesn't understand that is not how it works these days. You have to be able to provide entertainment for people that goes beyond that. And she listed authentic portrayals. This is one singular portrayal. There are hundreds of shows made every year. We just did a video last week about woke television. Again, I hate that word. Woke television shows, all of which nobody had ever heard of and nobody was watching, many of which were already on the chopping block. It is a for-profit industry, supposedly, and all of the identity politics in the world don't really fit into it. If this was the speech from somebody who is doing community theater and being given an award because of their authentic portrayals in a story that they were willing to tell that maybe they financed or they raised funding through the community, I would be 110% okay with this. But in this setting, I have to ask, how much money do these studios have to spend before they realize that these tenets of belief aren't profitable? Now, if she said, we told an interesting story that appeals to large demographics of people that also happens to authentically portray various groups to differing levels, yes, fantastic. That's beautiful. But all of the evidence, all of the layoffs, all of the lost money tells me otherwise. And all of the arf clapping and back patting won't change any of that. And Hollywood is about to hit an even rougher patch with the strike, with all of the problems related to the strike now rearing its ugly head, and everything that they're losing. Yet there's still times, and there's still no men's summit. But we have 1,000 celebrities patting themselves on the back every day.
Like, they platformed a speech that we didn't even show the whole thing, that was this preachy and performative, and people's reaction was still to get angry that Ryan Gosling got an award. Yep. That was technically not even his.
There's a $20
Really?
There's a $20 one here from Disco Jensen, says, this is why I care not for award shows. Thanks, I hate it. Yes.
I agree.
Yep.
This is a really annoying topic in the sense that it's so like indicative of the larger problem, which is lack of substance. Yes. And like, there's so many firsts. Every time one of these happens, it's a first. I don't know how you can have that happen.
She also said rewrite stories. Why don't you tell new stories? Yes. Because you exist on the backs of giants that came before you that made these studios gazillions of dollars to the point where they're not even willing to try to tell new stories, but to rewrite them.
It does remind me of the Trump or the Melania speech, where it's like, he made the joke that like, we have a double standard because Michelle Obama gave a speech and everyone loved it, and Melania gave the exact same speech and you don't love it. And it's like, we made the exact same movie and why don't you like it? It's like, because we've already seen it and it was better the first time. Like, I've said this 1,000 times and I'll say it for the rest of my life. Wokeness is not representation and inclusion. It is substituting that for substance. And when you're like, this is that, like, they're not talking about the great movie they made. They're like, look at the boxes we checked. And it does bear repeating and pointing out that's like, none of those things have ever bothered us. The movies with characters like that look and act like certain demographics have been around for a long time and people liked them, but there was passion and art behind it. It told a story that, like Brett just said, can appeal to a lot of people. Describe an experience that is not your own in a way that feels like holistic and full and complete, and you walk away with it with a new outlook on something. These are like boom, shiny / nothing. And they're like, they want to shame you for not liking it and then substitute their reasons for it.
I just think it's their own, what they got jealous of. They got jealous of all the bad Catholic and Christian movies that got made in the last 30 years. And they're like, we can do that. Yep. We just can't do it with a religious theme.
Take the lessons. It's the same problem. Like, I was talking about this with Graham. Like, the reason that Christian movies suck is because they don't want to show Christians as having like, they don't want to promote negative behavior, so they present them as these infallible people, and the only bad people are the ones that aren't Christian. And it's like, that is not
how the world works.
No, and it's like, that is not showing somebody how to get through struggle. It's showing them that no matter what they do, they're right. And that is the same problem. Yep. The same problem. Like, Ray can't fail. Yep. Like,
it's all so. See, my definition of woke is, I say go watch the skit Levi Wokes from Saturday Night Live. It's just that, but it's actually serious.
At the end of the day, all of these big studios and David Zaslav and Warner Brothers and their investors, they don't care how affirmed you felt by the Barbie movie. They care that the Barbie movie made $1 billion.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.